In a quiet village nestled between hills and golden plains, the sun always seemed to rise with purpose. Birds sang in harmony, children chased chickens through narrow paths, and elders sat under baobab trees telling stories of long-forgotten kings and queens. It was a place where everyone knew everyone, and where secrets still found ways to grow. Among this tapestry of life lived two inseparable girls, Amina and Halima. From the time they could walk, they were side by side. They fetched water from the same river, danced barefoot in the rain, whispered secrets under the stars, and swore sisterhood beneath the sacred iroko tree. Amina's laugh was like music. Halima's wit could silence the rowdiest boys. Together, they were a force, a storm of joy, intelligence, and ambition. They promised they would grow old together. Even when we're married, Amina would say with a giggle, our husbands must be best friends too. Or we'll dump them and find new ones, Halima would add, sending them both into fits of laughter. But time, as always, had its own plans. By the age of 25, Mina bloomed into a woman whose beauty and kindness drew attention everywhere. Her almond skin glowed, her voice was soft like the evening wind, and her presence could calm a storm. She had started a small tailoring business with Halima, a dream they'd nurtured since their teenage years. And it flourished. Halima, too, had her beauty and brilliance. But life had not been as kind to her heart. Failed courtships, broken promises, and whispers that she was too strong or too much left her bruised. Each smile from Amina became a mirror of what she had not achieved, not yet. Then came Malik. He was tall, confident, and respectful. Amina met him during a village health fair where she had gone to sell handmade dresses. Malik, a visiting health coordinator from the city, was drawn not just to her looks, but her gentle soul, her grace, and her laughter. Within months, they were in love. Real love. The kind that made aunties clap in circles and uncles nod in approval. Malik's proposal was perfect. He didn't go big or loud. Just a quiet evening under the stars, a handmade ring, and the promise, let me build a future where you feel safe, honored, and loved every single day. Amina said yes. The village erupted in celebration. The wedding was to be the grandest the community had seen in years. Every family was involved. Goats were promised, rice was stored, and traditional drummers were already rehearsing. And of course, Amina asked Halima to be her maid of honor. There were tears in Halima's eyes when Amina told her, I couldn't do it without you. Amina whispered. Halima hugged her tightly, but deep within her heart, something twisted, not a scream, not rage, but a slow, creeping darkness, a seed watered by years of comparison, a sharp whisper in her mind. It should have been you. He should have chosen you. Still, Halima smiled. She smiled at every fitting, helped with decorations, and even chose the fabric for the bridesmaids. But every night, she sat alone in her room, staring at the ceiling, thinking, what does Amina have that I don't? And in the silence of those nights, a dangerous idea began to grow. But Amina, she remained blind to it all. She was glowing. Her love story was unfolding like a tale from the griots of old. Malik adored her. Her business was booming. The entire village loved her. She was living the dream. She never suspected that the one person she trusted most was watching with poison in her heart. As the wedding drew closer, Amina invited Halima to sleep at her house, as tradition often dictated for the bride's closest friends. They stayed up late, sharing memories, laughter, and prayers. I'm nervous, Amina said one night, her voice soft. Halima turned, watching her friend with an unreadable gaze. Why? You found love. Real love. I know, Amina said. But I don't want anything to go wrong. I just want peace, joy, and to start a new life. Halima nodded, but her eyes, they didn't smile. They burned. By day, Halima smiled. She carried the wedding planner. She helped pick the bridal jewelry. She danced with the bridesmaids and even went from house to house, delivering invitations with a painted grin. But by night, she wept. And in those tears was a storm of bitterness, a tempest of quiet resentment that had been building for years. To the world, Amina was lucky, beautiful, loved, blessed. She had Malik. She had a successful business. She had the admiration of elders and the envy of every young woman in the village. To Halima, Amina had taken everything she deserved. She remembered the early days when both of them dreamed of love, of building homes, of being cherished. But only Amina's dreams came true. Halima, despite her own charm and intelligence, had watched her relationships crumble one by one. Some left her for other women. Some mocked her for being too independent. And some never looked her way at all. So when Malik arrived, charming, generous, educated, Halima noticed him first. She even tried to spark conversation, but his eyes never lingered. His smile always faded quickly when turned to her, because his heart had already chosen Amina. And so, Halima swallowed that rejection. She buried it, but it never left. Now, as the wedding approached just 3 days away, her heart thundered, not with excitement, but rage. Rage she couldn't admit, not even to herself. She would tell herself lies to stay sane. Amina probably tricked him. She doesn't even love him the way I would. She always had it easy. I had to fight for everything. Those lies became fuel. The village celebrated Amina's upcoming wedding like it was their own daughter getting married. Songs echoed through the trees. Women wove colorful fabrics. Children rehearsed traditional dances. Meanwhile, Halima was quiet. She watched. She waited. One morning, she visited the tailor shop they both once built together. She looked at the dresses, hanging, the tools arranged with care, and the mirror where Amina often stood smiling at her designs. Halima's reflection stared back, eyes hollow, lips tight. She picked up a half-finished dress and held it to her body. "Do they not see me?" she whispered. And then, something shifted. Her footsteps carried her away from the shop, through the back paths of the village, and to the neighboring town. There, in a tiny alley, she found what she was looking for. She handed over money. The man didn't ask questions, and he handed her a small black bottle. It was heavy, not in weight, but in consequence. She slipped it into her bag and walked away. That night, Halima sat in Amina's room. The bride-to-be was radiant, humming softly while checking her guest list again. She held up her dress and twirled. "Do you think Malik will cry when he sees me walking down the aisle?" She laughed. Halima forced a smile. "He'll faint." Amina chuckled and flopped onto the bed. "I'm so happy, Halima. You're the only one who truly knows how far we've come. I want you by my side forever." Halima nodded, her hands clutching the edge of her chair tightly. She wanted to scream, to run, tow, but she stayed. She had already crossed the line in her heart. Now there was no going back. Later that night, Amina fell asleep quickly, exhausted from the day's joy. The moonlight crept through the window, bathing the room in soft silver. Halima lay awake, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. The bottle was still in her bag. She got up, walked to the window, and opened it. Cool air touched her skin. The village was silent, the kind of silence only a night before celebration could bring. She pulled out the bottle, her hands trembled, but her heart was ice. She whispered to herself, "Tomorrow, no one will call her beautiful again." The morning sun rose with golden pride. It kissed the rooftops of the village huts, glimmered on the river's surface, and danced across the wedding decorations that now draped trees and fences. Tomorrow was the wedding. The village bustled with Energy elders gathered under canopies discussing traditions. Women pounded yam and stirred stews in massive clay pots. And drummers rehearsed with eager hands. Amina was glowing. Even without makeup, her joy made her radiant. Her hands were painted with henna. Her bridal outfit was perfectly folded and set aside. And her heart fluttered with anticipation. The man she loved, Malik, had sent a sweet note that morning through his younger brother. "I can't wait to spend forever with you. Tomorrow, you become my queen." Amina giggled like a schoolgirl when she read it, clutching the letter to her chest. Beside her, Halima smiled. But this smile, unlike all the others, was calm. Cold, controlled, Halima moved like a ghost that day, polite, helpful, even graceful. She helped Amina try on her veil one more time. She adjusted her shoes. She cracked a few jokes. She hugged her tightly, but no one noticed that she barely ate. No, one noticed the black bottle tucked deep inside the folds of her handbag, even as the day slipped into evening, as villagers lit lanterns and sang under the stars in celebration. Of the upcoming union, Halima's heartbeat remained steady. The sun disappeared. Darkness embraced the village, and while others slept with joy in their hearts, Halima stayed awake, her mind a storm of envy and delusion. She whispered to herself, again, like a mantra, "If I can't have what she has, then no one will." That night, sometime after midnight, Amina stepped out of her house. She was restless. She wanted to feel the night breeze one last time as an unmarried woman. She wore a simple white wrapper and a scarf. Her bare feet patted softly on the earth. As she walked toward the big tree at the edge of the compound, the same place she and Halima had once made childhood wishes, she sat down beneath it, staring up at the stars. Her fingers fiddled with the bracelet Malik had gifted her. Suddenly, footsteps. She turned, surprised. Halima stood a few feet away, still dressed in the long wrapper she had worn to bed. Her eyes were wide, lips tight. "What are you doing out here?" Amina asked, smiling. "Couldn't sleep either." There was no answer. Halima walked closer, too close. Amina tilted her head. "Are you okay?" And then she saw the bottle, small, black, glinting in the moonlight. "Halima, what is that?" Halima's voice trembled, but not with fear, with rage suppressed for too long. "You were never supposed to have it all." Amina's eyes widened. Her heart pounded. "What are you talking about?" Tears brimmed in Halima's eyes, but she didn't cry. "I gave you everything. It's my friendship, my loyalty. And you took everything else, Malik, the attention, the love." Amina stood up slowly, backing away. "Halima, please, we're like sisters." Halima's hands tightened around the bottle. "Sisters don't get left behind. Sisters don't get forgotten. Halima, please, you're scaring me." But it was too late. With one swift motion, Halima raised the bottle and flung its contents toward Amina's face. A scream tore through the night. Amina dropped to the ground, clutching her face, howling. In pain as the acid burned, her skin like fire from the depths of the earth. Her cry shattered the silence of the village. Lights flicked on. Doors flew open. People rushed out. Malik, sleeping nearby at his uncle's house, ran barefoot toward the scream he instantly recognized. He found Amina on the ground, her skin sizzling, her eyes shut tightly, blood and tears mixing as her voice quivered. My face. Someone screamed. Another vomite. Halima stood still, the bottle now empty at her feet, her hands shaking, her eyes blank. "What have you done?" Leek dropped beside Amina, cradling her. In his arms, his own voice cracking as he shouted for help. The villagers swarmed in. Someone recognized the bottle. Others recognized the intent, and someone whispered the words no one thought they'd hear. It was Halima. Amina was rushed to the village health center. but they were not equipped for something this cruel. By dawn, she was unconscious, her face bandaged, her fate uncertain. Malik didn't leave her side. Halima was taken away, screaming now, screaming and crying. No longer the cold figure of the night before. But it was too late. The damage was done, and the wedding. There was no wedding, only silence, grief, and the bitter sting of betrayal. The sun rose that morning not with golden joy, but with a sorrowful gray. Birds sang softly, as if mourning. The wedding drums, once waiting to echo across the village hills, sat untouched. The dancers had no reason to move. The feast, prepared with love and excitement, remained in pots, now cooled with silence. The village was in shock. Amina, the bride, the daughter of the people, lay still in a hospital bed, her face bandaged, her body trembling with pain. The acid had burned through skin, lashes, and even the corner of her eye. One side of her face was almost completely destroyed. She hadn't yet seen her own reflection. Doctors whispered that she might lose sight in one eye, that her skin would never fully recover, that the pain would stay for months and the scars for life. Beside her, Malik sat. His shirt was stained with dried blood. His hands never stopped shaking. His voice had gone hoarse from crying her name all night. He clutched her hand like it was the last thing he had in the world, and maybe it was. But what broke the villagers more than the tragedy was the Halima, the friend everyone trusted. The one who once danced with Amina in the rain. The one who braided her hair, laughed by her side, and shared meals with her family. She was now locked inside a small cell in the village police post. She had confessed. In screams, in sobs, in wails of regret that came too late. I was blinded, she had shouted. I didn't mean for it to go this far. But jealousy does not ask for permission. It only demands. In the days that followed, the entire village buzzed with a mixture of grief, confusion, and rage. Women gathered under trees, crying and praying for Amina's recovery. Men argued over how such evil could grow so quietly in the heart of one they all trusted. Elders shook their heads in disbelief. And Malik, he never left the hospital, not for a single night. He fed Amina, cleaned her wounds, whispered love in her ears when she winced. But as the days stretched into weeks, her silence grew louder. When Amina finally opened her eyes fully, when the pain lessened enough for her to speak, she asked just one question: why? They tried to explain, but there was no answer. That made sense. Then came the day they gave her a mirror. The nurses hesitated. Malik held her hand, urging her not to look, but she had to. Slowly, Amina took the mirror in her hand and turned it toward herself. She stared for a long time at the burns, the discolored skin, the warped beauty that once made people stop and stare. She didn't cry. She simply set the mirror down, turned her face away from everyone, and whispered, "I died that night." Malik dropped to his knees. No, my love, you're here, you're alive." But her spirit, the joy that once danced in her, was quiet. She refused visitors. She barely ate. When Malik proposed that they still marry, even if it had to be small, she said nothing. Silence was her answer. Deep within, something inside her had cracked. But pain doesn't always destroy. Sometimes it awakens. It was an old woman, Mama Titty, the herbalist, who finally broke the silence. She visited Amina with no medicine, no sermon, no pity. She simply sat beside her and said, "They tried to burn you into silence, but your scars are fire. Use them." Then she left. Those words stayed. They echoed in Amina's soul. For days, for weeks, until something sparked. Amina began to sit up, eat again, speak again, not much, but enough. She refused to look in. Mirrors. But she stared out the window a lot, thinking Malik remained by her side, but she said little to him. One day she said softly, "You should move on." He protested, begged, pleaded, but she was firm. "I need to find myself again." Alone. He wept as he left, and for the first time since the attack, Amina was alone. No Halima, no Malik, just Amina. And the echo of her own thoughts. In time, her wounds healed, not completely, but enough. She returned to her village. Heads turned. Children whispered. Some gasped. Others stared and looked away. But Amina walked forward, face uncovered, head held high, each step a thunderclap of defiance. A neighbor tried to greet her. Hesitantly, she smiled a broken, powerful smile. "I'm not a ghost," she said. "I'm just changed." She reopened her shop, not as a tailor, but as a space for healing. She called it the flame within. Women came, girls came, survivors came. She taught them to sew, to speak, to rise, and as word spread, so did her message. Scars don't make you ugly. Silence does. Pain, betrayal, isolation. These were the bricks Amina had been given. But instead of building a prison, she built a throne. Months passed, then a year. Amina's scarred face was no longer a shock. It became a symbol of what could not be destroyed. Her story spread beyond her village. From town to town, women whispered her name with reverence. She wasn't just the girl who survived an acid attack. She was the woman. Sfu. She began traveling to nearby villages, speaking softly at first, then boldly, telling her story, teaching self-worth, encouraging survivors of violence to stop hiding, to stand, to heal, to own their scars. Her foundation, the flame within, grew. What started as a tailoring shop transformed into a movement. She partnered with NGOs, spoke on radio shows, and even appeared on regional TV. Journalists came to her doorstep. Lawmakers invited her to speak. At one conference, a woman asked Amina, "If you could go back and change that night, would you?" Amina paused. Her fingers touched the edge of her cheek where the skin had turned rough and uneven. She smiled. "No, because that night didn't end me. It birthed me." Back in her village, things had changed. People no longer stared. They waved. They greeted her with pride. Even the children who once ran from her now hugged her legs and called her Mama Flame. Halima remained in prison. Her trial was short. She was sentenced to 15 years. Occasionally, letters arrived at Amina's doorstep from behind prison bars written in Halima's handwriting. They went unread, and Malik, he had disappeared after she sent him away. There were rumors that he had gone abroad. Others said he had joined a health organization in the capital. Amina didn't seek him out. She had closed that chapter, or so she thought. 3 years after the attack, Amina was invited to speak at a national summit on gender-based violence. It was a grand hall filled with activists, survivors, doctors, and leaders as she stood on stage. Dressed in a royal blue head wrap and a flowing gown of her own design. The audience rose in applause. She began. "When you see me, you see scars. But I am not broken. I am not tragedy. I am testimony." The crowd roared. From the back row, someone stood tall with gentle eyes. A familiar posture. It was Malik. Time had passed, but love had not. After her speech, he waited quietly in the lobby. She saw him. Their eyes met. A silence passed between them, not awkward, not painful, just honest. "Malik," she said. He smiled. "I've missed you." They spoke for hours. No begging, no promises, just sharing. He told her how he had left because he felt helpless, not because he stopped loving her. He had been in pain too, but he knew her pain was louder, so he stepped away. And now, he was back. Not to fix her, but to walk beside her. Weeks later, they met again, and again, quietly, not as lovers, but as two souls learning each other again. And then one day, under the same tree where her world once ended, Malik knelt on one knee. Not with a diamond ring, but with a small bronze band, etched with two words. Still, beautiful. Amina said nothing for a long moment. Then she laughed, the same laugh that once danced through the village. She nodded, and this time, they had a wedding. Not loud, not grand, just honest. And in her white gown, with scars on her face and fire in her soul, Amina walked down the aisle, not with pity, but with pride. Children threw flowers, drums played. The sun smiled, and when she said, "I do," the entire village stood. Because they weren't just witnessing a wedding, they were witnessing a miracle. Asterisk, asterisk. Thanks for watching. Hoped you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment "end" so that we could understand you were with us till the end. As well as, please let us know, where are you watching from? Before leaving, please hit the subscribe button. Comment your thought and share with your nearest and dearest one. See you in the next one. Until to the next one, stay happy. Goodbye.